I think closing the gap is about, I think its primary aim is to close the gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous people. I think it's about not only creating the opportunity, but I think it's about empowering Indigenous people, because I think Indigenous people already have a lot of things that non-Indigenous people have, and I think it's basically not just about empowering them in the sense of empowering their lives, but I think it's about recognising what already they have to offer. And I think closing the gap it's a combination empowering not only Indigenous people but non-Indigenous people, in the sense that they begin to understand sometimes our position and the way we look at life, because I think in Australia that's often not looked at as a different perspective. And I think closing the gap gives Indigenous people to voice their opinions, maybe to take a two-way approach rather than a top-down approach which often government takes. I think closing the gap helps us maybe draw a position or ideas from the grassroots and take that up to government and be able to change it from the top that way.
Closing the gap in Indigenous advantage so that we are able to ensure, certainly in the area that I'm working, which is in community development and employment services, it's about reducing the gap between Indigenous and non-Indigenous employment in Australia, and that's really important in terms of making best use of resources and giving people the capacity to contribute themselves.
Closing the gap to me means lessening Indigenous disadvantage in health and education and access to services.